Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to our movie club. Let's call it a club. And today we will speak about the movie I Robot with Will Smith. It's a pretty fresh movie, I would say, for us. So usually we make movies from 1960 something. And this one is from 2004, I think. So it's a very fresh, very how's it, vivid, right? With a lot of graphics inside, with a lot of special effects, and a lot of robots, I would say. So let's start from the story. Jorgen, would you like to start?
Yeah. It begins with Dr. Lenning's death. It's in 2035 in Chicago, and at US Robotics. And the detective, Dale Spooner, is sent to investigate, and he finds that he had fallen 50 stories from his office, and but when he investigate the office, he find out that the security window is too hard to break for him, so he is suspicious.
Right. So, but as I got it, the detective, this guy Spooner, yes, his name, he was not like sent to this place of crime. He was the doctor left a message, right? How we call it? Suicide message, teacher.
I guess so. Yeah.
So there was a suicide message in form of fancy hologram, and it says it's programmed to answer some questions, and it was programmed to call this detective and to ask them to arrive. So it's a nice hologram, I would say. Yes, and it's programmed for a few questions, and from the very beginning, this hologram looks like some riddle what you have to solve, right? And that is the right question. Yeah, so it's give us a clue from the very beginning that there must be some right and not right questions, and you should find the answers. I don't know, the questions, the answer, everything. So everything is very suspicious because as some lady said in this building, this doctor was not just a doctor, was just an old man. No, it was everything there. Right? He's invented these robots. He's the soul of the company. So, and then he commits suicide, and there are a lot of strange coincidences. One of them, that internal system of surveillance, right? Surveillance, can I say? Surveillance. It lost record from the room of doctor just before the suicide. So it's a kind of suspicious, I would say. So the detective invited to major, like a big boss of the company, and something happened. Vasans, what is happening between them?
Between who and who?
Between this boss, what was his name? The white one, the sugar.
Right. I think Robertson, I think. Okay. Yes, because he always trusted his robots, and he believed that they didn't commit any crime. So his way of talking always implies that the scientist, the doctor, committed suicide. He always mentioned that it's a suicide. But every time he mentions suicide, the Will Smith Spooner corrects him by saying a death. So and Will Smith had an instinct that that a robot might have killed, or the robot might have been a cause of his death. So he always had that suspect in his mind. But Robertson is kind of defending his product because he invested so much money on a newer version of a robot called NS5 or something. So that's going to be. Yeah,
am I correct? Am I correct? That from the very beginning we started to suspect this Robinson, right? Because he's kind of not sincere, and yeah, something wrong with this guy, right? But if you think he just protecting his own company, right? He cannot say, okay, our robots, they have a flaw, they can kill people from time to time, but it's not very important, it's still a good robot. So he started to protect the company like immediately. So, and we forget the important thing, those 3 laws of Isaac Asimov. Yeah, they are important for our narration. Sergey, would you enlighten us about these 3 laws?
Hello. Do you hear me?
Yep.
And I heard about the 3 laws for robot technique from by Isaac Asimov. The first rule is a robot cannot harm a human or
just human, I think. And
Now, harm or allow to be harmed by inaction.
Yep.
Same idea. Yeah.
Same idea. And we lost Sergey, so I will continue. So it's the first law, and the second one is robot should obey a human being unless it's on contrary to the first law, right? And the third one, that robot should protect himself or itself, probably, if it does not violate. Yep, good word. It does violate first 2 laws, right? So when these 3 laws, they hard coded in the essence of robots, so they cannot break that if they don't have some flaw. We should believe in that, right? Sergey, are you back? Okay, not yet. Okay, we lost you for a second. Yes, yeah, we lost you for a second. So I finished it with the laws. We managed to remember all 3 of them, and so where we stopped in the history. So the detective, the black guy, started his investigation, and he got an assistant, right? A lady. Scientist, I guess, an engineer from the company. And what happened after between them and with the investigation? Sergey, can you continue?
He started the investigation about the unusual robot who was be found inside the cabinet of old doctor, and she didn't believe that in unusual robot with senses and this robot without 3 rules for robots. And she with the detective went to a special place where stay 1,000 of NS5, and she asked them some phrases, and they started to find this robot thousands of sense. I forgot his name. And the detective killed 2 robots, and he saw this unusual robots, and he called to his boss, and a lot of policemen went to this place, and they find this unusual robot.
Okay, so a few language questions. Actually, can we say escort lady without negative context?
Yeah, but probably lady escort would be better.
Okay, so the name of robot is Sunny, right? Sonny?
Sunny. Yes.
Sunny. Yep. Sunny.
Yeah, yep. And it's kind of broken, right? We learned that it's kind of broken or something. So, and it is interesting how this lady, she was so sure that if she will command like stop, it robot will obey immediately, but it doesn't happen. Yep. So we see that this one is kind of unusual. Yep. Gerard, can you continue, please?
Yes, the reason was this robot, Sunny had like two brains. One in the brain, normal place where the brain is, and the other in the heart. So the second brain could overcome the three laws. And the question is that plenty of robots are going to form part of the homes. And those robots are like this, have two brains, so they can overcome the three laws. And in this building, there is an AI named Vicky, who can control the robots, and I love them, and so she can control the robots.
Yeah, but originally it's not clear that she can control robots, and she does control robots. She looks like a AI system for a building, right? For a,
Yeah, but update them. She can update them, so that's a clue.
Yep. We learned that after. Yep. So the detective went to the place of where doctor lived and had a kind of adventure in this place, because this place being what's the word for this? Destroyed,
Demolished?
ruined. No,
Demolished.
Demolished. Yeah.
Yeah. Demolished just in the same time when detective
Yeah,
came in.
someone can change the time.
Yeah. So, and doesn't it look strange, this demolition in general? I mean, just on the next day, not.
Yeah. Why should someone demolish a house, from a wealthy person?
Yeah. Without getting any precious things, without anything. Yeah. So a man died, we demolished his house immediately.
No, not logical.
Yeah, but it's a 20. What's the word? What's the year? 27, 35. Yeah, and it's Chicago, right? So
Chicago,
Yep.
yes.
yeah. So teacher Lee, what is happening in America? Why you demolish houses?
A beautiful house.
Chicago is famous for a high crime rate and a lot of murders. So it's not a nice city.
Okay, so let's guess that the reason for demolition, not to procreate thieves, just we demolish that, no, nothing to steal there. Okay.
He did find something in the house, right? He found
A video clip and the
a
cat.
video clip. The cat, the cat in the video clip. Okay, all right. A picture, right? Or I can't remember. Okay.
Yes, and the picture with something like a bridge, a broken bridge. No? Do you recognize this bridge? Maybe it's
Golden Gate? Is it the Golden Gate?
Not in Chicago. Chicago has no bridge like that, so that's kind of a mystery.
Okay, I just just to show you, we have a slide with this. With this bridge, so I'm going to share it for a moment. Maybe we can understand. Yeah. Can you see it?
Yeah.
Looks. I would say it looks fancy. Not like a modern nowadays bridge.
We call it a suspension bridge because it hangs by cables.
Yep. Okay, Vasans, please. Vasans, you wrote in the chat, but I missed it.
Talking.
Yeah. Actually, this graph was drawn by the robot. Actually, he found a photograph of the doctor and the lady, escort lady.
Yep.
From his house, right?
Yeah, I remember now. So this robot, Sunny, he used to have dreams, right? And they asked him, what is inside your dreams? And he just draws it immediately. But also we watched this bridge on this video clip. And video clip was kind of presentation or something, I cannot say, with a doctor, with a COO, and they spoke about robots and future and all these things. Okay. Okay, so house is demolished. There is a cat. There is a video clip, and Will Smith, his name was Spooner. He's going to this lady for help, I think, with some questions, right?
Yeah, she's kind of a company contact or liaison to answer his questions and help him investigate. Yeah.
But I forgot when exactly robots attacked him. At this moment or after? On the road, this accident.
Yeah. That was later when he was going to do something specific.
I remember because he checked some document,
some files,
and expect a flag, and they send the robots against him. 2 trucks with robots.
Yes, and there was a mislead clue, right? Because they report to CEO that a policeman tried to read our files, and immediately after we see an assassination attempt with fancy one with 2 trucks and a lot of robots, a lot of ugly, angry robots. But he managed to survive, and they managed to clear. Yep.
The
evidences, yeah. So everyone look at him like
crazy
idiot, yeah. And it's a nice point in the movie. So we know that this guy has a special reputation, right? What kind of? Sergey, can you explain what is special about reputation of this guy? Spooner.
Spooner is a robot hater, and a lot of people know that he's a hater. And if we talk about the crash inside the tunnel, after crashing, we could see the special martial arts between one robot and Spooner. When robot beat Spooner, and surprisingly for me, Spooner told this arm, and he beat with the metal things, and immediately we saw the robot arms. The Spooner is a robot.
Bionic.
Yeah, at that moment, I was thinking that he's a robot or something, because the whole title of the movie is misleading. I'm robot.
Yes, yes. It's surprising. He is a robot hater, but he is a robot. What's problem with him?
But do you understand the reason why he is a robot hater?
Why he is a robot hater?
Yep.
Yes, he told about a short story about crash 2 cars inside the water when the robot survived him instead the young girl, and Spooner told that we have 40% for survive me and 11% for surviving the lady, but the robot is a rational device, and he decided to survive me because I had more chances than lady, but the human started to survive the lady because it's a human and we have a senses.
You're speaking about all good times, before political correctness, not now. Gerard, please.
I think it's not logical. Why is he's so angry against the robot when the robot saved him? That doesn't have any sense. He's alive thanks to the robot, and he's angry because he didn't save the girl who had less chances to survive.
Teacher Lee, please.
To me, I'm just like Gerard. Why hate the robot? He's not a human. He's not emotional. He did what his logical programming required him to do. So it's not the robot's fault at all. So that doesn't make sense.
Vasant, please.
Yes, and if the robot was not there, and both would be died. So actually, the robot saved at least one person. So there is a logical reason.
Yeah, I think we judge so because we are so so senseless. We don't have too much senses, But I think this guy just feel a lot of guilt inside him. I was saved instead of the girl. I just it's a anger, and he points this anger to the robots. Like Freud teach us. You have an anger inside, you point it outside.
Yeah.
But it's strange, yes, I would say. And at some moment at the movie, I was thinking that this woman and this girl in the car is kind of related to him, his wife or something, because the feeling is too strong, in my opinion.
Yes.
I don't know. Sergey?
Just a kid.
Just a kid, yep.
Yeah.
Sergey, please.
During the movie, we could see for developing the Sunny when Sunny saw how Will Smith close one eye, tipo. And Will Smith explains that we are human, the human things, and the end of the movie, Sunny close one eyes like Will Smith, and we understood that the robot have a sense like a human, but it's a stranger for me. How it's
Okay, they're just genius. They built another brain inside him. So, but it doesn't especially mean about senses, about feelings. It's just a language. You can see on this how robots learn the way of communication of people. They wink, I wink. So they cry, I cry. Like this.
I don't know, and I think that's the director want to develop in this robot for us. So they are a human, and in a few years after, maybe the wiki and the other robot started to have feelings, and they started to kill people with feelings.
Well, the idea about feelings is that they make us better, not worse. So if robots have feelings, they just will love the nature, butterflies, birds, maybe humans, and it will be a better place in the world.
Except for anger.
So okay, we stopped at what? At assignation attempt, and we found out that he kind of a cyborg, right? Cyborg. So
Cyborg. Yep.
and this lady mentioned after that, wow, you was restored so good after this incident. So probably there is some incident. I don't know, is it that crash or something else? I think that police workers, they have some, many accidents.
Can't remember. Yeah.
Yeah. So probably something else. What else? We forget about his mother, right? She is a fan of robots as well. And she bought one. And we started to understand that something is wrong with those robots. They're everywhere with these big trucks, transportation. I don't know. Let's call it buses, buses for robots. And they started to, what's the word for it? To occupy, right? To occupy the cities. They start to command people. You go home. Yes, and wait. I don't remember what to wait. Yeah, so it's kind of revolution, right? It's called revolution.
Yeah. Go home for your own safety.
For your own safety, yeah. For until what moment? Was it clear or not?
Until they're told otherwise, I guess.
Yeah, so
they didn't say there's a coup in progress. Go home until we're finished.
yeah. So it's not really clear what is happening on, but we see that robots, it's a rebellion of machines. Right? You know, Skynet is waking up. And what happened? Spooner started to attack this building, right? This company building. Vasants, would you like to continue?
Yes. With the help of the escort lady and the Sani, they broke into the building, and finally they found out that Robertson was not the person who tried to manipulate all the robots, but the operating system Wiki. And Wiki learned itself, it developed itself due to the artificial intelligence. So he managed to violate those laws, those 3 laws, and finally, with the help of Sani, Spooner and the lady injected what is that chemical called?
Yes, something special. They mentioned it when they was going to kill Sunny. There was a dialogue, something like, "You have a positronic brain, and the only way to efficiently destroy this positronic brain is those micro something organized, nano robots. I don't know. So we make you injection, and your brain just die." So no suffering for robots, and they managed to inject this I don't know what nano robots to Wiki's brain. Yep. And after that, what we have before that we have important line. Conviction, not conviction. What's the name for this? Confession of Sunny. So he's telling us what exactly was happening in this cabinet of Doctor. Jean, do you remember this?
Yes. It was. We can see during the movie at the beginning the book of the fairy tale Hansel and Gretel. So those 2 siblings spread crumbs in her way in the middle of the forest so that they could follow the crumbs. Yep. So in this case, this professor told some clues so Spooner could find out what was happening. And he asked Sonny to kill him. So it was a sort of suicide.
Yeah, but what was the trick? What was the trick? How he overcame these 3 laws?
Because Sonny had could do that because he had 2 brains, remember?
Yeah, but I got it like there was some wordplay or something. So Doctor asked him to promise before, that you will obey whatever I ask you. And he promised it. And then he said, just kill me. And somehow it's refused the law. I don't understand it completely, but it was like this.
Well, what you have to understand about Lanning, this is kind of interesting. Lanning was a prisoner in the building. They knew that he lost faith in the robot company and he wanted to shut down the robots. So he never went home. He was kept prisoner in that room and he could not get out to warn the human race. So he created Sonny for 2 purposes. One, he needed Sonny to kill him to get the attention of the police. And to do that, he had to create Sonny so he could violate the 3 laws. And then 2, he made Sonny with special armor. So Sonny's armor was more dense and stronger than any other robot. Do you remember why that was important? Okay.
He put the arm into some reactor or something.
He could get through a security system that other robots couldn't, and that was the thing he needed to kill Vicky. So Lanning had thought this out pretty good. How can I warn people? I've got to die to get people's attention. And then how can we kill Vicky? I need a robot that can bypass the security and grab that poison. So he had it all figured out. So he was a pretty smart guy. Okay.
Yeah, but do you remember that Sunny was just programmed without these Isaac laws? Or he was tricked some way?
I think he had the two processors. One couldn't. One had to obey the 3 laws, but the other processor allowed him to bypass the 3 laws.
Okay,
So he promised he would kill Lanning, so he had to do it even though he didn't want to.
okay, Gerard?
Yeah.
And the important thing is that Sonny wasn't connected with Vicky.
Yep.
Right.
Another thing. So we can control him, right?
Yes.
Okay, how we call this? We call it backdoor usually. Let me write it. Backdoor. In IT software, we call it backdoor. When you write a software or build a robot with a special like ability, which only you can like. What's the word for this?
It's a way to bypass security.
Yep. So probably there was a way to make a command that like bypass the 3 laws. So you make a command, a special wording or something, and it goes exactly to another brain, and robot just follow it.
Now, one thing that was interesting, the little hologram device, I don't know why in that high technology society, this little hologram device has limited memory. It can only tell you you've asked the right question. That didn't make a lot of sense. Our thumb drives have more memory than that, you know. But the right question was the breadcrumb trail, if you will. So the first right question was, Spooner asked the hologram, why did you call me to investigate your suicide? So he said, detective, that is the right question. So why did he call Spooner instead of any other policeman?
His reputation, right?
To take the robots.
Yep.
He suspected robots might be evil, so he was the right person.
Yep.
And then there was another question. I forget the second right question he asked. When he saw all the robots, yeah. He asked another question and said, that is the right question.
Why he would commit suicide? Why he
Okay, right. Why did you commit suicide? That is the right question. And it was basically to get attention because he was a prisoner. That was the only way he could get a warning out that something wasn't right. So those were some breadcrumbs.
Well, we should admit that it worked, right? But it looks like a bit intensive, I would say. Probably, probably. If you're a smart
depended on
guy,
luck, depended on a lot of luck, I think.
Yeah. If you're a smart guy, please find another way, to deliver a message that doesn't involve suicide. It's a safer for you.
Yeah. Throw Sonny out the window.
For instance, yeah. And then we can investigate why does it happen and what's happening. But no one will investigate death of robot, right?
I guess.
Yeah. And also another language question. Can we say a killing of robot? Or we should use another verb, something like, I don't know, switch off.
I'd probably say decommission.
Decommission, okay.
We decommission a mechanical thing, usually a plant or a factory. Deactivate would be good for a robot. Deactivate.
Okay. Yes, because killing has some, some connotation, right?
Right. You can't kill a thing that's not alive, right?
So, and then I killed this stone. It sounds incorrect.
Right.
You can kill a program when it works badly, IT.
Yes. Actually, we have a command that in console that exactly kill the process. Okay. Yeah, we cannot delete a robot. Yep. We can disable, deactivate, decommission.
Yeah.
Okay. And usually robots don't care about that. Like, I'm going to disable you. Okay, please. So.
But Sonny was different. Sonny said, I don't want to die.
Yep.
Or something like that. Yeah.
And he protected himself, right? With some what it was, I don't know, blaster, some gun, something like this.
Yeah.
Okay, we have a few questions thanks to Wasans on our Padlet, so I'm going to ask them. We did not cover all of them. So the first one, why did Will Smith say sugar while talking to Robertson and he startled for a moment? It's a good question. I think it's about, what is the political correct word for that? Is a Black Lives Matter, something like this. It was kind of offense, no?
Sugar. When a man calls a man sugar, it sounds like they're both gay. Yeah, so it's not natural.
No.
We
Yeah,
don't call each other dear,
Well, it was strange, yes, and I think it was kind of a message for us in the movie, because it's not was just an episode for a second. For Sans, you're right. It was a pretty long incident, right? So they both like thinking, did you just call me a sugar? Oh no! I asked sugar for my coffee. Something
Lot of it.
lot of it. Yeah. What's the Gerard? Do you understand this part? Why he eats so much sugar?
I don't know. I don't understand that. Why I wouldn't like that.
It's something strange, but it looked again like a message, right? So it was deliberately. It was like a message, but message of what? I don't understand. Okay, it always will be a secret.
Maybe because he was a high energy person, so he used a lot of sugar for energy. I don't know.
He's partially a keyboard, right? So maybe because of this. Okay. If the world has been employed with robots, what kind of job that human would do for livings? Okay, we know policemen, we know CEO, we know scientists. Who else? What other jobs are available? Sergey, what do you think?
It's a difficult question. I thought about it when Robertson told about the Woodmaster and about the robot change with the Woodmaster, and I thought maybe the programmer, maybe I don't know, waiter, maybe
No,
surgeon.
we saw waiters like robot waiters. Maybe baseball players. No.
I fear these questions in my future because I think that the robot could in the future could change me very simply and change my parents and change my relatives, and it's a difficult future for us. I don't know why.
Okay, I think that the better word will be replace. So replace you with
Replace.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
Maybe we will be announcer or people for TED conference and I don't know.
yeah. Or some dancers maybe. Robot cannot dance. Good, yeah.
Oh my God.
Well, it's an interesting question. Yeah, when in a world where robots can so powerful, right? What can humans do?
I think about it. If we want to find this topic, we could to find in TED conference topic about it. I
Yep.
think.
Yep. Teacherly, please.
I would think robots can do rule-based things that are procedural and never vary. So any routine job like making announcements, putting something together, they're going to take over that. Humans excel in a couple of areas. As mentioned earlier, dancing, artistic. Humans can paint and dance and do illogical, creative, artistic kind of work. Robots can't do that. Second, knowledge-based. Robots are rule-based. If A, then B. If A and B, then C. Humans can do knowledge-based. We can kind of synthesize several facts and maybe some life experience and maybe an emotion like conservatism, and we can kind of bring together knowledge to make a decision that a robot can't do that because they may not have, their brain doesn't quite work like ours does. So anything that's knowledge based, troubleshooting, problem solving, or artistic, or maybe even fine detail, possibly would be something that humans might be able to do.
Yep. I'm partially agree. I understand what you're saying, and it was like a prevalent idea for the last decades, I think, that robots cannot do any artistics. But we have some examples just this year. So we have an artificial intellect that writes music, and that writes music kind of better than rock musicians. We have a lot of AI paintings, and I can share a story with you. There was a rock group, Russian rock group, and there was they finished their career, so it's pretty old. They finished their career, but the experts of artificial intellect in Russian company Yandex, they taught neural networks by all these songs, and this neural network wrote a new album, a new album, and it was like a secret, this new album was sold, and people said, finally these rockers made a good album, it's better than it was before. So yeah, so it's developing somehow, and we are all, another good example. I used to visit some online conferences about AI, and there was a interesting question. It's always a question from the audience. So a robot cannot write a symphony, and what speaker usually answer? Usually answer the average robot that you cannot as well. And average robot write a symphony better than you are. So only very few well-trained people can compete with an average robot. But we can produce robots very fast, and cannot produce like well-trained people fast. So we are going to lose, I think. So better to start to take some dance classes or something.
Ballet. Well, I'll be ballet dancers in the future.
Okay, another question. I don't understand it completely. This movie gives a new meaning to house arrest. Can you explain? So who was under the house arrest?
Okay, that's my question. Lanning.
Okay.
Normally, when you're under house arrest, you stay in your house. You stay in your home and you can't leave your home. That's what house arrest normally is.
Mm-hmm.
But in Lanning's case, he was basically locked in his office and couldn't leave. So he was trapped in a single room, held prisoner. So he was kind of under company house arrest.
Yep, interesting. And there is some fancy devices, on your on your ankle, yeah. Just with a GPS to send a signal that this guy is going to the bar, and he should be in his place.
Right. So you can leave the home if you have a tracking device. Yeah. A bracelet or around your hand or your ankle.
Yeah. If I was a judge, I would put it on the neck, just to make it visible.
Just tighten it with a push of the button. Get back home. Okay. That would be good. Yeah, I like that idea.
Okay, Sergey mentioned this question before. So explain the significance of the wink face gesture in the movie. So, yep, please, if you have something to add.
My opinion, this is developing of the robots that the director show us is the robot developing very fast, and the robot maybe will have the feelings like the humans.
Right. So it shows us that it's not usual robot, not an usual robot. It's something special. Yep, it's developing, it's learning, and maybe it's alive.
And I don't understand how this program. You're a program, Ivan. How could create this new program inside for breaking free rules for robototechnics?
Yeah, I understand.
I don't understand how it work.
But these laws of robototechnics, they are not like laws of nature, It's just a code that we put inside the machine. So it's we who decide, will we put this code or not? So I can make a robot with another 3 laws, It will be laws like kill any human who you meet, and another one, kill any dogs, but never kill the cat. And we call that, another 3 law. other 3 law, I mean. So it's possible. Why not? It's just a convention that we build all the robots with these rules, but we can bring.
The human puts the new program for the robot with 3 rules every time. Suddenly, the main program wiki started to create new program for robots without human. How?
Yeah, it's a conflict between software and hardware. Software is something that you can change, but it's a good thing and a bad thing. So if you have a mistake in hardware, what you can do, you should demolish all your possessions and start to build that again. So, but engineers are stupid. They do mistakes all the time. That's why we use software. So that's why we can reprogram anything, So just look at this Google Hangout. Every week it's different, Every week something is wrong. Some button is on the new place, something not recording. Why it's happening? Because it's a software. People rewrite it.
Okay.
Well,
Please, Tishli.
The problem is the company is run by humans. Nothing can be trusted when humans are involved. Now, the company, if it's ethical, it hardwires the 3 laws into the robots so they cannot hurt a human. The problem is all it takes is for the company to change its logo from do no evil to let's do some evil. And now they might make some robots for their own use, like an assassin robot. And it doesn't have those laws hardwired. So anytime humans are making something, they can always make their own version without anybody knowing it, So
Yeah, I understand. And also there is many levels of logic, Usually hardware is very simple. Just 10 plus 10 minus 5, that's all. And you program the logic, the complex, abstract things on language of high level or something like this. Okay, Vasant, please.
Yes, and he was said that that Robertson is the richest guy in the world. So if some company is that much rich, if he is an ethical person, somebody else would have pulled his leg down, or if he is an evil, he must just he would kick somebody off from the ladder. So that's how he would keep his position at the top. So the credibility or the trustworthiness of this man is questionable in this place.
Yes, I understand your idea. It's usually happens with politicians, right? If you are so honest, if you are so a bright person, probably you will not find your place in in political hierarchy. But if you are kind of an evil person, it will be easy for you. Sergey, please comment.
When I work with my work files, I always made the reserve copy. But I'm a usual human. But we could see the wiki, the very high level logical mind, while the wiki didn't make a reserve copy of these servers. It's a strangely.
Yes, it's strange, I understand. But I think I can answer. I think that the reason, because the wiki is kind of on the top of research. It's a rocket science just now. So you don't back up the not finished work. So the wiki is in the process. That's why her brain is not backed. If it will be a model, of how we call it, serial model. Can I say so, teacher Lee? Serial model, you know. It's a car that, you know, makes one by one. That's the
Right.
same thing, yep.
Yeah.
So we will have a backup, you know, this image, backup image, another backup image. But Ricky is developing. It's a new one. It's, I would say, experimental one.
But I think that the wiki was made the reserve copy, and maybe we will watch the iRobot 2. Maybe.
Yep, it's very possible. Yep, it's very possible. And we have a device with a positronic brain inside. It's Sunny, right? And he's well. But the way we had a, you know, strange scene in the movie when there was some kind of graveyard of old robots and new robots was fighting them. What it was about? I'm confused.
Revolution.
Revolution, yeah. But what's the reason to, you know, to fight with old robots?
Well, that was that drawing significance. That was the revolution of robots. The old robots had the 3 laws. The new robots didn't. So what's the conflict, Ivan?
I understand. So you're saying that they have feelings, right? They have. You are not like me. I'm going to destroy you.
No. The old robots would try to stop the new robots.
Ah.
So they had to kill them first so they could do their revolution.
I understand.
Yeah.
Okay, another question. We tried to answer it a bit. It's about bridge. What is the significance of the pencil sketch of the bridge scene at the end of the movie? I don't know. Any new ideas? We tried a few, but
Remember that Sonny dreamed it. So maybe Lanning somehow planted the idea in his programming. I don't know. But remember, the Spooner said, "Who's the man at the top of the hill?" Sonny thought the man was Spooner. But at the end of the movie, the man turned out to be Sonny. So Sonny's at the top of the hill, and all these robots below stop and look up to him like he's a Messiah or a Jesus. So my question is, what do you think that scene is trying to foretell or predict? Does that predict there's going to be a robot revolution in the future and Sonny's going to lead it? Or is Sonny going to help the robots learn emotion? You know, I'm not sure myself, but what do you think that scene is trying to predict in the future?
yeah, hard to say. Jürgen, do you have an idea?
No.
Yeah, it's not clear to me as well. Yeah, what is the significance of this? I kind of surprised about all this scene at all. I saw that it just this bridge was just like a geomarker. You know, it's to show a place where to find this grave or something. I don't know. So it was like a clue, another clue for geographic. But I'm not sure.
Right. The sketch did get Spooner to go to that location, and he saw that he saw the robot fight. So when he saw the good robot, the new and the old robots fighting, he knew that a revolution was coming.
Yep.
So that picture maybe that was another breadcrumb that got Spooner to go to that location to see that there were good robots and bad robots, and that there was going to be an attempt to overthrow the human race, a robot coup, if you will.
Okay. Sergey, do you have a question?
And we saw a lot of robots in this movie, but I don't understand where is the source of energy for this robot. And I never watched it when the robot put this spatial socket and they put this source of energy. It's just strangely.
Yeah, but it's it's 35 years ahead, so they have nuclear reactors just in the
And And this company, USR, looks like the Apple. The Apple every year created new iPhone. This company created the new robots permanently, and a lot of people wants to buy these new robots or put in the lottery. Like a grandmother of Will Smith. Oh, I have a new robot from the lottery. Seriously, well, like a new iPhone.
But it's understandable, no? It's consumerism, can we say so? And it's very popular religion just now. So many people, I bet, if there were these robots of next generation every year, people will sell their kidneys to buy another one. Yeah?
I can't imagine this robot in my flat. What's
Because you are too old-fashioned, you know. Yeah, you are old-fashioned, you know. Teacher Lee has a few robots, you know. Alexa or Cortana or something else. Yeah.
Yeah.
Some people have, you know, this vacuum cleaners. They are almost robots now. They don't have to be managed by governed by people. Yep, Roomba. And for instance, I have a robot for my boys. They speak with him. They have some programming device. So it's there. It's there. But you know, there is a positive news as well. You know, Japan is probably the first nation in adaptation of robots. And on the last week, there was a news that in Japan, some hotels with robots, so the personal was robots, they are starting to close because people love robots less and less and less and don't go there.
Really?
Yep, new tendency, new trend.
No. This hotel fire out these robots because the robots can't make the copy of passport.
Yes, that's true. So sometimes robots just confused of new tasks, you know. So there is a fully automated hotel of robots, but you need something extraordinary, you know, something that never asked before. Just made the copy of my passport, and robot program is broken. No, what is the passport? And it's irritates people, yeah. And they decide that okay, let it be, you know, a Mexican or someone else, but a human, you know, not a robot. Okay, I think we finished this question or another one, guys, if you have any.
I do. As you probably know, when you call a help desk, half the time you get a recording or AI that, how may I direct your call? Please enter this number. Please enter that number. You get, after an hour of talking to a robot, you just want to slam the phone and hang up. You know, they're making robots now more human-like. So it'll go, what would you like? You know, or and there's actually an ethics question being asked now when robot voices or conversation partners can't be distinguished from a human. Should we require the robot voice to identify itself as a robot? This is an ethical question that's being asked now.
Yes, I heard about this question on some conference made by Google, and there is no law, there is no regulation about this yet. So the company decide by itself. But Google and Facebook, I believe, they both said our robots will always self-identify themselves. So whenever you get a call, it will start with "Hello, I am a robot" or some another signal, and then you will be asked some questions or something. So. But I would say that Americans is ahead of the whole world in this regard. So, yep, really. So, just by statistics. So, in my place, I used to participate in one project with a robot calls, and Russian people, they just hang down. How is it? Hang over? When we break the call, hang over?
Hang up.
Hang up. And Russian people, they hang up immediately when they understand that they are speaking with robots. So no any answer will be given. I don't know why. We are retarded in this regard. Yep.
One thing that you mentioned, Yvonne, that's interesting. You said that America always leads the field, and we see the problems first, and we come up with a solution to the problem first. The thing I don't like about that is that because that happens, the rest of the world many times will follow our solutions arbitrarily or just from habit, without trying to make their own solution that might be better than ours. You know what I'm saying?
I understand it exactly, but it's logical because all the research, all the scientists about IE, they are concentrated in America. So probably we just don't have as much resources for invent our own solutions. If we don't like your solutions, we just don't have hardware, don't have resources to invent our own. So they look at like, blame these Americans, but we have to follow.
Yeah. Damn it, we have to copy the Americans again.
Yeah. What a stupid guys. Why they always break the same?
Yeah.
But we do the same.
Yeah, it's like the atomic bomb.
Example, yeah.
That's right.
Okay. If there is no more question, we can go to slides. We try to make this class longer just for an experiment. Let's see how it will happen. Okay, I'm going to share my screen. Every week I forget how to do it. Okay.
Automate it.
Yes, I need some automation or robot for that purpose. Okay, let's start from Gerard. Gerard, please find something.
We can see Will Smith waking up. He has how do I call this device that ring
Alarm clock.
alarm clock. Yes, an old alarm clock. He has a CD player, a regular CD player. We cannot see him here, and he is always showing up his muscles. He's a young. He here is 15 years ago, so he's young, 50 something, 15 and a bit years old. And okay.
Something to think about. Remember that as soon as you see him in the movie, what's the first thing he does?
Make gymnastics. Yep.
Okay.
Well, his left arm was stiff or hurting him.
Okay.
Now we know why.
He's bionic.
It's bionic. Yeah. At the first of the movie, though, you're wondering what's wrong with his shoulder, but later we find out it's a mechanical shoulder.
Yeah, what's the name for this? I forgot, for this replacement for some body,
bionic arm.
Bionic arm. Okay.
The medical word's prosthetic.
Prosthetic. Okay.
A fake arm or a fake leg or a fake hand, we call it a prosthetic.
Okay. And what is special about these cakes or something? What he eats always? with a spoon, something strange, I would say, some kind of porridge or something.
I don't know, but he likes sweet stuff, so.
Yeah. And what is this on the wall near to the door? Some small.
I think that might be an LCD thermostat. I'm not sure.
Okay.
Temperature control.
Okay. So pretty. Yep.
I have a question about the head. What's this strange head?
Как-то it's a dugiru or something. Durek. How it's called, actually?
The hat, the cap?
Bandana. This black device on his head.
Black people like that. I guess we'd call it maybe a skull cap or bandana. It's a black person thing mostly. Some motorcycle riders like it because it has no bill, so it won't blow off your head.
Once I saw some term like I tried to write it like durek or something. I'm not sure, but it was.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, it was exactly about this device. Let's say this is close. Yeah. In my place, only bicycles, you know, only people in bicycle sports they use it. Something like this. Yep. Okay, so that's all about this, I think. Jorgen, another one, please.
Mm. He visits his mother, I think.
Yep.
And yeah, many things.
A lot of furniture, right?
Yeah,
Chairs, table, stove, kitchen
Yeah.
appliances. I can see some kind of cake, I think. What's the name for this fancy device for a cake, teacher Lee?
We just call it a cake cover, or I guess keeps it moist so it doesn't get dry.
Okay. I think we use the same, but for keeping hot. Yeah, and not for cakes, for meat or something, I think. What else? What strange box, probably with candy, right?
It might be a candy jar or peanuts. Might be peanuts in a jar. I can't tell.
And I would say the design is pretty strange. Look at his mother. He's barely like fits this no space. She's staying in a very narrow space, I would say.
Kitchen. That's her kitchen.
what do we call this columns and this design?
Just columns. Yeah, no special name, just columns, decoration.
So it's just a counter, yes? Counter.
Yeah,
There's
count.
a countertop, yep. The floor is wooden. There's a step down where you got to step down, so watch your step. There's
How do you
orange
call?
juice. Huh?
How do you call this wooden floor in English?
Just a wooden floor,
Okay.
as opposed to carpet or tile. There's orange juice on the table. We call that a pitcher, like a pitcher of beer, a pitcher of orange juice. Looks like she's been eating maybe cereal for breakfast.
Well, I would say that the whole place looks very neat, right? Very like she is a good what's the name?
Housekeeper.
Housekeeper, yeah. Very neat, everything, and it looks like she's like her kitchen, I think, because everything is on their places. There's knives, pens. It looks good.
Vintage, maybe, because this kitchen doesn't look too modern, you know.
Yeah, no robots.
Vintage.
Vintage, I think.
Yeah.
Vintage. Okay.
Vintage.
She's wearing an apron to keep her clothes clean.
Yeah. Yep. Okay, I think enough for this. Let's go to the action. Sergey, what is happening on the picture?
The Will Smith came to this picture. Oh, there are a robot with a small bag for women, and this robot run very fast, and the Will Smith saw that it's a crime, but it's not a crime. It's a usual robot. The previous series, and a lot of people saw to Will Smith with special looks. And you are stupid because a robot has free rules, and Will Smith didn't believe with it, and he hopes that it's not true. Maybe sometimes once upon a time he watched the robot as a crime. And Will Smith has a laser jacket and gum, and a lot of people, and we could see the very modern bicycles with the future design. It's interesting.
Right. Teacher Leon, speaking about these bicycles, we call this, how we call this lines inside the wheel, if you understand me.
Yeah, we call those spokes.
Spokes, okay.
Today, normally they're real thin, but these are strong metallic spokes.
So it's a kind of fancy design. We have only 4 spokes, but they are kind of carbon plastic or something, so they can manage this.
Probably carry a lot of weight.
Yep, a lot of weight. Yep.
Yeah.
So what is the facial expression of these guys? They are astounded. Yep.
And there are two white men with a white suitcase.
Right.
It's
Right.
strange.
No,
What
it's
is-
not
what is
French. It's a man in black. On
Ah.
the right side, and behind the Will Smith on the left, they are like twins, right? And they actually are twins.
Yeah.
Now, if it's small like that, we call it a briefcase. A briefcase is for
Briefcase.
business papers.
Yeah.
A suitcase is large for clothes.
Okay, good.
So those are briefcases. Okay.
In the center of this picture, we could see the cylinder devices. What is it?
Yeah, I would
I
say
don't know.
some kiosk that sells water.
Maybe this is the source of energy for robots. Maybe.
Oh, maybe. Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
I don't know.
Finally, we found it. Yep. And we can write, we can read hotel, I think, on behind these bicycles. Hotel and some Korean sign or some diacritics or I don't know.
I don't know what that is. It looks maybe Korean, but I have no idea.
Yeah, strange. Yeah. So and robot, he has a facial expression as well. I would say.
Surprised.
What did I wrong? What did I wrong?
What did I do? What did I do?
He looks upset, I would say. Okay. Anything else? You see, I can find it's on the left side, on the left bottom side, we can see some monitors of something and people looking to the tableau. Is it a tableau or what? It's probably something road, like races, train station.
Yeah, it looks kind of like a train station, but I don't know. I can't tell.
Yeah, very fancy.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Okay, next one. Vasans, please.
This is the crime scene of Lanning, and there wasn't any real plastic stripes that says it's prohibited area.
I think it's a police tape. Yep, actually.
Yes.
Yeah. Crime scene tape, we call it.
Yeah.
But it's virtual.
Oh, yeah.
You can
and,
walk through it.
Yes. And one man is holding a device. I don't know what is that.
It's it's not existing device, so we don't know what is this. Something that scans the crime for I don't know for what.
It looks like it has a little monitor attached to it, so whatever you're scanning, you can see the readout on that little monitor. I have no idea what that is. It might be an X-ray machine that checks for broken bones or reads body readings like blood pressure, heartbeat. I don't know.
Yeah, probably some, they show the picture inside, like, does he has some, I don't know, bullets inside or something? Bullet?
Yeah.
Yeah. Cannot say.
Oh, no.
Vasans, anything else?
No.
I would mention
The other
this.
people
Yeah, please.
no, the other people seem like very casual, walking
They don't
here
care.
and there. Yeah.
Sure.
Could you imagine someone so important that nobody look at his corpse on the ground? Imagine Bill Gates, or you can know.
But you can see security guy right in the center, so they just throw away this onlookers.
Hmm.
Yep. I would mention on this picture the strange architecture. In the middle, this building is strange and like fancy. Yep. And I have a question about this kind of glass. This glass. See on these small pieces on the floor. It's a kind of the glass that used in cars, right?
Mhm.
So you cannot damage yourself. What is the name for this?
Well, we would normally call it shatterproof glass.
Shatterproof.
Like
Okay.
a car windshield. When a car windshield gets hit, it doesn't break into big pieces. It shatters into little tiny granules, so it's
Yep.
less damaging.
Yep. And how you call this? This ironet, or I don't know, glasses with a special security. So we cannot see this on this picture, but in the cabinet of doctor, when he tried to broke the glass, it was impossible. Yep. So this glass was kind of, I don't know, stone.
We call it shatterproof glass or
Well, yep.
safety glass.
Okay, I understand.
Yeah.
Okay, so anything else there? Nope. Okay, let's go forward. The cabinet. Gerard, please.
Okay. So here is the room where Dr. Lanning, how do you call him?
I forget her name.
Lanning, Alfred Lanning, yes. Committed suicide from this room, and Will Smith, so Spooner is looking for something like, I think, a robot in the middle of these pieces of garbage. And Susan, the psychologist, is next to him. So her job is to make the robots more human-like.
Mm-hmm.
Or their mindset to be more human.
Yeah. A lot of pieces, yep, for future robots. How we call this? Pieces.
Spare parts.
Mm-hmm.
It's like military spare parts.
And her costume is kind of, I would say, strange. It's more appropriate for our movies like Equilibrium or something like this.
Yeah, strange. I guess that's a woman's business suit, I guess.
Okay, we are not experts like to.
And Will Smith wearing always his leather jacket like the protagonist of Matrix,
Yeah.
Maybe there are reasons for that. Okay, let's move forward. Sector 18. Jürgen, do you remember the scene? What is happening?
Yeah, the robot breaking is trying to escape, to flee, and what can we call this? Open force to open the gate.
Yeah, just a tear, I guess, a rip or a tear.
Tear, and then he started to climbing on the walls, and but suddenly he fell down, and they could catch it in a net. Yeah.
So it's like a fabric or something where these robots are assembled or repaired or something. So
Yeah.
Sami is trying to self-repair himself here. And speaking of this gate, speaking of this door, in Russian we have a word like jalousie or something. I guess it's a French word. When it's from small like straps and all this like
We call it a roll-up door
roll up. Okay.
because it can roll up or pull down.
Yeah, and there we have a partial answer to our question: what will be a human's professions? So we see that all the policemen are humans, right?
That's right. No three laws there.
Yeah, yeah. Just imagine how would a robot will be a policeman, right? How he can hurt a people, a guy, right? So it's we still have a big advantage that we can hurt human without problem. Sergey, please, another one.
The right reason for human, but the Will Smith tried to find the emotions from this robot, and suddenly robot beats the table with anger, and the Will Smith told it's the anger,
Yeah.
and
So he provoked him.
yeah.
Yep.
Yep, and there are a lot of policemen with very modern hats
Rifle, I would say.
and with guns, and we saw the red light. Maybe this is the camera,
Mhm.
and some documents in front of robot with photo with Lenin,
Mhm.
and very relaxed Will Smith.
Yeah, but
And
look at the robot. Looks like his
yeah,
posture. Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
it looks like he is a hardened criminal, and his third arrest at this exactly day. Yep.
yeah.
Tense and assertive. We have this in
Good
our chat.
father.
Oh,
Yeah, okay, Blackmata, hello. Could you speak, please? Write something. If you could speak with this, we will ask you to describe this picture. Yes or no? Okay, let's send this picture to Vasans and then return to Black Matter.
Yes, this is a bar scene where Spooner was listening to a speech on TV, and his superior is approaching to him. The bartender is a robot. And there were so many things on the table. I have never been to any bar, so these things are new to me.
Tishli, what do you think about these hooks on the wall? Is it a normal thing? Is it popular?
Yeah, we usually, some place will have a place to hang your hat and coat sometimes, not always.
Mm-hmm. And behind the Spooner, it's his chef, right? He's a police sergeant or something.
Yeah, that's his boss. Maybe, I don't know what, maybe he's a captain. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. But he's pretty loyal to Spooner, right? He is not not punish him very well.
Yeah, he still didn't seem very forgiving of Spooner's attitude,
Yes, but I like this dialogue in the beginning of the movie. So, okay, you arrested a robot, right? Yep. So, how many robots make a crime so far in the world? He said 0. Okay, so why you continue keep them? Yep, it was funny.
Yeah, it did make sense. Yeah.
Yeah, but what is strange on this picture that it doesn't look like a bar, for drinking. They have salt, pepper, yep, these ingredients.
It's a coffee shop. It's a cafe. You order sandwiches or breakfast.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
so catering.
Coffee shop, I'd call it. Yeah.
Okay. And we can see that there are no waiters, no cooks, human cooks anymore. So this profession is taken.
Yeah.
Right?
One question for Teacher Lee. Can you drink alcohol in a coffee shop?
Not normally. That's what's kind of strange. This is a coffee shop, and yet on the wall behind Smith, you can see a wine glass with a swizzle stick with an olive in it. So that implies alcohol, but normally we don't serve that in a coffee shop. So It doesn't make sense.
It looks like in Spain, because in Spain, coffee and alcohol in a bar are sold in the same place.
Oh, okay. So that's unusual in America.
But it's a future, you know. It's a future.
Yeah.
30 years ahead. Yeah. So, BM, probably it's the last chance to speak for you. Yes or no? Write in our chat, Samson. Okay. I no. Yes. What does it mean? What language is this? Okay, so let's stop on this. Well, I enjoyed the movie. I enjoyed our class. Thank you very much for explaining me all this. You know, it's small details about future robot rebellion, robot revolution. Yep. What do you miss it, actually?
There's an old TV program that was called The Outer Limits.
I watched it.
And there was an episode called iRobot. You might want to watch that if you can find it. Yvonne, you know Mr. Spock from Star Trek, right?
Yep, we all know.
That actor made his TV debut on this episode. He was the lawyer. In this episode, they find the robot's creator dead. They accuse the robot of murder. They take him to trial, and the Spock actor's the lawyer trying to defend him. And one of their ethical decisions is, if he's a machine, can he be guilty of murder? So the legal ethics of this is kind of studied in this Outer Limits episode. I'll try to find it and send you a link. It's an old black and white episode, but it's the original iRobot.
And it's a very interesting question, I would say. I would say it's a very actual question for us, because we have self-driving cars, we have like a smart machinery, and it's not clear who is in charge if something bad happened, right? A programmer, an operator, a producer, who exactly? And it's not clear yet. And we have to figure this out in few next years, and it will be interesting, I think. So thank you very much. See you next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.
All right.
Okay, I'm